All right, guys, welcome back into the last NBA DFS slate of 2020. We got a small little 5 game slate here for you, but we are going to cover just real quick, going to cover the small 2 game slate. So real quick, just pulling up the 9 to 5 cheat sheet on for NBA. Going to sort by value. Going to bump up the minutes a little bit here to about 15 because I don't think Justin Jackson, I don't think Roby are going to get the minutes. The starters are going to be back and healthy, so I'm gonna bump that ticker up to about 15 minutes or so here. And just talking about the Pacers Cleveland game real quick, that one's very appealing. I mean, if you're playing that small 2 game slate, Turner, Brogdon, Drummond, Depot, those guys should be in your player pool, and even like someone like Darius Garland, I like as well. So that's kind of going to be the approach for that small 2 game slate. But this is going to be concentrating on that 5 game slate. So just there's some other plays here, obviously. So Alec Burks, if he's he's currently questionable. If he is out, then Alfred Payton becomes almost a lock play to me at his price point. But if Burks plays, he is an intriguing play there at that price point. SGA, just going to call it out right now because I'm going to touch on him as a point guard play here. I like him just because I think he's going to easily 5x. I'm not sure how much more we're going to get from him, but he's a guy that's seen right around 20 shot attempts the first 2 games, and then he saw around 12 the last game there, and he was still able to value each of those games. So he's a play to me that really is standing out. And then we'll just pull up the rest of the point guards here on the slate. Something like Kyle Lowry, too, against the Knicks. That's a very appealing game to me as well. So, there are going to be some quality plays here, and we'll pull it up here on the DraftKings sheet here. So I already got Alfred Payton in there because if Burks is out, he's just going to be an easy play. Just look at the shot attempts the last 2 games, guys. 15 and 16. Still able to hit value at 33. Shot attempts, his shot wasn't exactly there, but he still shot it a ton. Assists and rebounds were there. We expect those assists to be there, especially with the minutes that he's projected to get. So Alfred Payton, I do like as a play. Don't want to use the lock word, but he's going to be a strong play. And then just talking about the other point guards on the slate, I already mentioned SGA. If you guys can fit him into your build, you should. The Houston starters are going to be back, so John Wall is going to be back. He's a guy that looked good in the preseason, so he's a guy that I could see easily getting like 40 DK points in this one. I really could. Looked really strong in the preseason, so obviously that would take away a lot of usage from James Harden. So if you guys are even thinking about playing John Wall, you really can't play James Harden. I know Harden's ownership will probably be a lot lower now because everyone's expecting John Wall to come out and have a good game. So that's kind of that's the iffy point there. I do want to mention George Hill. He was an easy play at 3.4 against Charlotte as well. Just we knew based on the preseason that those minutes were going to be there. I didn't know he was going to be that efficient though to get 30 DK points in the first 2 games. I was expecting like right around like 23 DK points from him at that price point, and I still kind of am expecting that. But if he gets like 25 DK points at 4.7, or if he still continues that hot streak again, 30 DK points at that price point, that's going to be appealing and that's going to be great. If those minutes continue to be there, I do see him getting there. But point guard wise, that's really it for me right now. Obviously, as the slate goes on, we could think about some other players that we're putting in there. But for now, I'm going to put in Alfred Payton and Kyle Lowry as kind of my favorite plays at those price points. Moving on to shooting guard, still not that much that I love. Devin Booker has really been struggling, and so is everyone else kind of really in this price point range. They're all kind of priced up enough. So that is my worry here. Lorenzo Dort, he really struggled in his last game, but the shot attempts are there once again. I think that's a key thing that we need to always look at. Those shot attempts are going to continue to be in the double digits at right around 5K. That's appealing to me. Obviously, his peripheral stats there, not much there. If he gets a little bit more going somewhere else, maybe it's a block or a steal or a couple more assists, then he's going to, obviously exceed that price point. I just don't like that he got a price bump there, so that is a little bit of a worry to me. Someone like Reggie Bullock, too, if all those guys are out, if Austin Rivers, if I'll just pull it up here because there's a lot of players questionable, so they're going to be forced to get their guards minutes. So yeah, if Rivers is out, if Burks is out, and all those point guards are still out, then Reggie Bullock is going to be forced into those minutes once again. And it's kind of a decent matchup there. He's a guy that had 30 DK points in the last game. Now, I don't know if we can expect that either, but, like right around 25 DK points for him, that's not going to hurt you at that price point. And then, that's really it for me. I know Cole Anthony has been decent thus far. The minutes really haven't been there for him. He's a guy where, eventually we're going to be able to plug and play him in a game here with some players being like questionable. or out for that game, but I just don't think we have that yet. So really for me with shooting guard, I really just want to punt it. And I hate that we kind of have to do that, but that's going to be the approach I go with for now. I'm going to put in George Hill just because I like his upside right now, but obviously that can change throughout the day. Now we get into the small forwards, kind of, the same thing that we were looking at. Just this is another slate where there's not that many standout plays. The same thing as kind of last night's slate where everyone was decent. You knew that they were going to value, but you knew that they weren't going to really do much other than that. And that's really the slate that we have today. All right, so we got all the small forward load in there. Brandon Ingram, he's projected to get like 5x. Let's scroll down here for you guys. Now you guys can see it as well. So I'm looking at the big data sheet right now, just kind of scrolling through it, salary-wise and whatnot. Harrison Barnes, I could see that happening, getting 5x, so getting 30 DK points. I could see that happening. That could definitely happen. Yeah, Daniel House Jr., he's definitely not going to do anything in this one. Diallo, I could see. Let me pull up Diallo on the drafting sheet here. Let's see if he's still cheap. He is still cheap. That's a little bit intriguing to me. Obviously at 4.3, it doesn't have to do much to hit value. Yeah, I actually don't mind him as a small forward, like kind of pump play there. You could easily fit him into your builds and make some other stuff work there. So that's not a bad play for small forward. Baisley here, he kind of fell off in the last game. At 5.7, that's a little bit too much for me right now. But yeah, I kind of like that approach. Brandon Ingram, I actually don't mind, to be honest with you guys. The minutes were down because they killed them. If that game stays close against OKC, which I kind of expected to, he's a guy that could easily go for 50 DK points. So if you want to throw him in there, even at the power forward spot, you can easily do that. Once again, I mentioned this kind of in passing. I probably should touch on it a little bit more. Julius Randle, Pascal Siakam, I both like. The usage of Julius Randle the last 2 games has been insane. If those guards are out again, I expect him to be handling the ball a lot more. The assists are up this year. I was looking at some sort of stat. It was like expected assist rate, aka shots where it should have led to an assist. He's like top 10 in the league right now. So, Julius Randle at 8.8. If those guards are also out, I expect him to be handling the ball a lot more. I actually don't mind him as a play. At 8.8, yeah, that's a little bit priced up, but I really don't mind him. I will put him in there for now. But Pascal Siakam going against the Knicks, that's a play that I don't mind. We need him to do a little bit more. Obviously, you need him to get like 40 DK points for him to really be beneficial for you guys in your builds. Boucher there, we kind of expected the minutes to go down there. I was really shocked that he had 15 and 28 minutes there. I don't know why they don't get him more minutes. I wish that they would. He's a play that I don't mind, but obviously they just, for some reason, don't want to get him the minutes. Let me see if I'm missing anyone here on the power forwards. So we'll sort by power forwards. I'll be wrapping up here. Yeah, Zion, if you want to roll Zion, you can. I'm fine with that. Yeah, it doesn't really look like I'm missing anyone here. Let's see value-wise for this slate specifically. Yeah, I don't see PJ Tucker doing that. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be looking at for power forwards. And then centers, actually, I think it really opens up center-wise. You got Vucevic going against the 76ers there. And especially if Joel Embiid is out, then you do have to, really plug and play Vucevic there, but he's expected to play. So don't really have to worry about that too much. Rudy Gobert, I think it is going to be like a safe 40 DK points, and I really do like him at that price point. He's a guy that I would almost build my builds around. I think he's going to be a strong play. Christian Wood as well. I don't really expect it to drop off that much production-wise. Now, Demarcus Cousins is back, but I don't see why you would sign Christian Wood to that contract and not play him. That's the key thing there. Cousins is back, though, and he looked healthy. I kind of expect these two to kind of split the workload. I could easily see Cousins getting 20 minutes and gain 30 DK points. That's not going to surprise anyone if that happens. Really think everyone's going to eat, especially in this first game. And then after that, it's probably going to fall off a little bit more there. But Rudy Gobert, I'm just going to put him in there for now as well. I like him. I want to go back to it. Steven Adams, it wouldn't surprise me if he has a better game. Just going back to kind of the blowout game there against Phoenix. It was a blowout game. If he gets a little bit more run, he probably gets to 30 DK points. I am surprised that he hasn't been doing that. Rebounds haven't exactly been there. Shot attempts really haven't been there. He could easily get a double-double in this one, though, and that's really not going to surprise anyone there. And that's kind of what I'm looking at, so I'll pull up the lineup here a little bit more. There we go. And how can we close this out? We have 3.1 to close it out. And there's no real values that I like thus far. Obviously, that can change throughout the day. Who do we want to go off of in this one? I would say, once some value opens up, we do get off of George Hill and then try to find it elsewhere. I know Matt Thomas has been playing a decent amount of run. Cole Anthony, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on this. Obviously, this is just the first look kind of build approach. So I do think that this base right here is going to be my approach today. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe. I do appreciate that. Going to be heading out for the day. Hope you guys have a great new year. I am going to be posting the NFL DFS content here in a second as well. So definitely check that out. All right, we're out, guys. And as always, let's keep cashing.